Alright boys, in this video I'm going to be helping you build teams and prepare for the Demon King fight. Very fun fight. I wish it was something you could infinitely repeat, but only get the rewards once a week. I wish that that's how they did it, and instead of having to use SA coins to repeat it and you get rewards infinitely times and then whales just farm the shit of it. I wish that wasn't the case. At least the whole Super Awakening stuff is not an issue whatsoever. It literally doesn't do anything for anyone. It's just cosmetic pretty much. For them, it's actually just cosmetic. Whatever though. People have their opinion. People want to freak out over nothing. It's fine. Demon King, fun fight. Very easy too, I think. All things considered, very easy. Okay, very farmable. I put him like between hell demons and demonic beast battle. Okay, something in between there. Okay, he's not difficult, but he's not easy, right? Like you will have to like actively. You can't just click auto. Okay, especially because of the rules. Now, before we get into team building, I'm gonna make a separate video on like a guide on the fight, right? To help people. I'll do like a whole walkthrough for a whole fight. But the way this fight works is he has these rules. Okay, he'll spawn these rules and say next rules, and the next turn you have to do what the rules said. So in this one, like let's say he does. So this is extreme. So in phase 1, his rule set will consist of a random combination of these three, which are the attributes, right? Blue, green, red. So the random combination. Let's say he does blue, blue, green. The next one you do blue, blue, green, and then for each correct one, each correct slot you have, so let's say it's blue, blue, green, but you do blue, green, green, right? Then you only have 2 that are correct and 1 that's wrong. For every one that you have right, wild on the bottom right, you'll have a little like counter. Wild gets 1 stack, and for everything you do wrong, he gets a stack. When you get 4 stacks, you lose. When you get 3 stacks, so if you do 1 whole rotation correct, wild gets 3 stacks. And Wild will always attack at the end of the turn if he has any stacks. So even if you only have 2, he'll still attack. And he'll give you buffs based on how many stacks he had. He does more damage, I think, as well. Very nice, okay? Now, Wild will also rank you up, by the way. So for phase 2, the whole rank stuff is very easy. It's very easy to do, even without rank up characters. But, well, I'll get into that as well. So, this guy, okay? This guy, this Demon King guy, on phase 1. He has colors on this, okay? So when we do clear extreme, we don't want to use dark and light units because they won't work, okay? And we also want to have a wide coverage of the types, okay? We don't want to have one team that's full blue, one team that's full green. Then we don't have red, okay? So what we want to do now, I'm not going to change my teams here. I'm going to go to a separate tab to change them. But what we want to do is we want to have, because it's four characters and there's only 3 colors, you'll have the same color twice, okay? So what you want is like 2 blue, 1 green, 1 red, and on the other team, right? Because you have 2 blue here, you only want 1 blue on the other one, right? You still want to have every color on both teams, so you can only want 1 blue, and let's say this was a red, and then 2 greens, okay? And that will work well, okay? Now, which ones you want, I'll cover in a second, but I want to cover the rules first before we get into like any further discussion. So, and then for hell, when you do hell. Phase 1, you just need different attack cards. You want to make sure you have at least 1 character can heal, has a stance, debuff, buff, attack. You want to have everything on 1 team. Okay, and then phase 2, rank up. Again, like I said, it's not that bad if you miss one. Okay, if the rule set says do attack, buff, heal, but you don't have a healer, it's fine. You do attack, buff, and then any card you want, and you can just kill this phase quickly, and then move on to the second phase where only ranks matter, and then you're fine there anyway. Okay, so I think like. You don't have to stress too much about always having the same rules, having the right rules. Okay, I've cleared it without clicking the right rules. Okay, you just can't do it too much because then you lose, right? And if you know, in a perfect world, you always want to do the right rules, which happens almost every time, but sometimes you can't. So let's talk about teams. Okay, one team you can run is a human team. That's really strong. But let's go to like this slot right here. Okay, let's go to this slot right here. Okay, so. Let's sort after colors. Let's not sort after colors. Let's keep it on races, okay? So let's say you have a Sins team. Let's say you didn't pull a new Meli. You can use LR Meli, which I think most people have at this point because of how many LR coins they've been shitting out. Okay? So you can run LR Meli, and then you can just run a Sins team, right? You can run a Gother, who is a unit with a green attack card, right? He's green, has attack card, and he has rank up. Then you could run Diane. Which I can just show you which team I used, okay? And I think this will make a lot of sense then. So let's go to this, and then we switch. Boom, there we go. So there we have Meli, okay? Pretend this is Lost Vein, okay? You can run Lost Vein, Diane, Golth, and you have to run a blue unit here, okay? You can run the one, the OG, the one. He probably cooks in this, okay? You can run this guy over her. Honestly, she didn't do shit for me. I can't lie, she didn't do shit for me. Like, she was actually more of a nuisance than anything. Because I didn't use her cards until the very end, when I used her cards once, and I didn't feel like she did anything the entire time. So, I don't know. I wouldn't run her, honestly. I wouldn't run her. But you can. I mean, she can still cook, okay? So let's say you have Lost Vein here, right? Then you could run Green Gother, you could run Giant DN, right? And then you could run a Final Sin, which you could do like... we didn't even have to run a Sin, right? Because Lost Vein doesn't care for Sins, she doesn't care for Sins, he doesn't care for Sins. You can just run a blue unit, okay? We can just go to blue units, and we could just run a unit. Okay, it's just that most of them will benefit off that. But you could run Kusek. You could run Kusek on this if you want, okay? You could run unknown units I wouldn't run, okay? Eden's also useless for this, obviously he's useless for this. You could run Chad King if you want. Chad King is gonna be a solid option, right? Like this could be a team you run. You 100% this beats Extreme. If it didn't cost like SA coin every time you wanted to go in, I would show you right now, but you can 100% beat it with this, I promise. I'll make a separate like build guide video on how to actually go through, by the way. But if I do both in one, it'll just take too long. But this could be a team. This could be one team. Okay, a Sins team. Okay, a different team you could run is if you have LIS Escanor. You cannot run Goddesses, by the way. They die in one hit. They take 6,000% more damage or something. So wouldn't really run them. You could run humans, okay? So let's go. Go to the human tab. Now, one thing that's pretty big is Mikasa works. Mikasa works in this because it's not a demonic beast battle. This is just a PvE event, so this works. She works on this, and she gives you huge buffs. So you could run Mikasa, right? You could run Mikasa. You could run Zaratras if you want to. Okay, a lot of units are actually just fine for this. Okay. Now for red humans, you don't have the craziest options. What I ran was Levi. I actually ran humans in my run as well. So if we go further, there, that's the human team I ran. Okay, so that was pretty good. Okay, that was pretty good. That team kind of cooked. Okay, and honestly, I'm actually lying because I didn't even use this team. If you watch this fight, I pretty much just used my main team. I pretty much just used Sins, okay? I pretty much just stuck to this team. Hello? There. I pretty much just stuck to this team the entire time. Which is fine. You don't have to switch ever, okay? Unless you need a color combination or the rule just fits the other team, you could just stick to one team the entire time. And you'd be fine. So don't worry about it too much, okay? Don't worry about the second team too much. If you can build one strong team, the second team is just like, okay, that's fine. Okay? But let's say we want to build this human team, okay? You could run Green Arthur, right? And then you could also run the other Green Arthur if you want to, I mean, I guess. But this one, because it gives you damage destruction, damage dealt. But this one would just work better. And then for the last human, let's remove this guy. You need a red. Again, you need a red human. So you could run Kyo, I guess. You could run Kyo, I guess. I just wouldn't want to run Sigurd, honestly. You could run Rudy's if you have him. He'd be okay. Honestly, Reinhardt on this team, if you have this guy, and Mikasa will have a lot of health. So he can cook. Let me put him on the team as well, right? And then more importantly, if you have her, Kizuna is going to be really good for this because one, she provides you with buffs, and she provides you. This is almost a team you could run. You could run this team in hell as well, okay? Because she provides you with buffs, right? She has a buff card. She also ranks up skills, right? Her passive makes her. I think it's a passive. It's one of the two. Makes her rank up skills when she does a single target. There's a nice, really AoE buff, right? You could get deal immunity and everything, which is very nice for this fight. She could work really well. And other than that, red humans. Honestly, you can run SR Bond. Honestly, I think you can run SR Bond. Because he has a stance card, right? He heals to full pretty much every turn. Honestly, I can see people running him. Now I wouldn't suggest it, but I think you can definitely beat it. Eva Lilia, I think, is going to be a very good underrated pick as well. She can cook. Shin. No, Shin wouldn't work that well on this. Nah, he wouldn't work that well on this. Shin I wouldn't run. Yeah, and that's really it. That's really all you have for red humans. There isn't that many. If you could apply corrosion, this guy would cook him like just tremendously. But for red humans, honestly, that's pretty good. Again, like it's mostly collab characters, unfortunately. But you can make work without them. I mean, you could try Sigurd, I guess, right? You could if you don't have any other option, you could try if you want to run humans as well. You could try Sigurd. You could also run the new Roxy, right? If you want to, if you have her as well, you can run her. Humans, just a lot of options. Okay. Now you want to use colors. You don't want to use light and darks for extreme. And for Hell, you could use Light and Dark, but you can't debuff, as far as I'm concerned, so this guy wouldn't be good. And then this guy is okay. You could run him, I guess. I don't like him, though. But the human team, I think, in Hell doesn't have... You could run him in Hell. I mean, the team I was saying earlier, you could run in Hell. You could run in Hell. Right? If you have Kizuna, you could run that team in Hell. I think I've seen people run it in Hell. I've definitely seen Kizuna clears on Hell. I think Devo runs Kizuna for Hell, which I can't find her anymore, so that's pretty cool. But I said she was 95, right? So she should be here somewhere. Bro. Whatever. Anyway, you could run Kizuna, okay? There she is. She's 100. You can run Kizuna. This is a team that can do Hell. I promise. You can run this team on Hell, and then the other team you would have to run a healer. Now, there's not many healers, okay? I'll tell you right now, there's not many healers that are good. Now, again, you can run a Sins team, right? Let's switch back to Sins. Let's say this guy this time, okay? Because colors don't matter, right? You just need different cards now. So, what you could run is, let's go to categories, let's go to Sins. You could run this guy. This is who I use on my Hell run, because he has a recovery card. He has a heal card. Okay, if you run commandments, right? Because if you look at what I'm running, that's not the one. If you look at what I'm running, right? I'm running commandments. You could. Well, I wouldn't replace this guy. I wouldn't replace anyone, to be honest. But you could run Glocks, right? Glocks has a heal card. You could make it work probably on your weaker side of teams. You could probably run Glocks. Okay, but let's go back to teams. There you go. Okay. King, I've used them. Hold on. Boom, right? I used this king, and he cooked, right? This team has heal, stance, debuff, buff, attack cards. Has everything. Everything you want. This team has it. If you can make this team, make this team. Which you definitely have these three, and this guy you will most likely end up getting, I'd assume. Throughout the celebration, for sure. If you have 0 gems now, I think you have enough to get 900 by the end. If you do everything right. So, there you go. And then the second team, I was running this. Shuna has a heal card. It's so useful. It's so nice to have this. It also gives you a buff. So if you have Albedo, she gets an extra buff. So that's really nice because then her counter does more damage. If you don't have Albedo, it's totally fine. You don't need her. She just makes this obviously a lot easier. I didn't use her until the very end, by the way. I stuck on the Sins team the entire time. Again, right? The way I play, I just wasn't switching actively. I was fine just being in my main team. Or like my A team, which I consider my main team. Well, you get it though, right? Freyr is really nice because he gives 20% basic stats if there's 4 unknown, and he gives single target damage a bunch of as well. Really good. Nanashi, I don't have to explain. Really good, right? Unknown team in general is going to be really easy to build. But you could run something like this. Okay, you could also run Liz if you want to. Alice in Hell definitely cooks if you run a setup where that allows her to be red. Okay, so if you run Sins pretty much only. But she will get one shot if she gets hit. So you know it's difficult to run her. But you can hide her. You know, you run a stance card on the other side of the map, and then she can probably live. All things considered, she can probably live. But it's gonna be a bit more difficult to keep her alive. But she has the heals and everything, so she might be okay. But anyway, so Sins works fine. You can run the Sins team that I was running in the video, right? With Diane, King, Gother, and Meli, right? Again, this Meli could just be Lost Vayne, right? Both this guy and this guy rank up their skills, so that makes the second phase a lot easier. But this King for heal cards, and on global you can just filter for heal cards, right? It's like, not this one. It's like one of this, right? You could just like search for recovery cards, but you can just go on this tab, right? Put it to rejuvenate recovery, HP recovery in general. And then obviously some of these aren't, right? Some of these just mention it, like this guy, right? He doesn't have an actual heal card. He has a buff card that heals you, but it doesn't come for the heal card. It has to be a card that's green, okay? But just go for your box, be like, okay, she has a heal card, but she's a goddess, so can't run her. This guy, you can run. Gahadi, you could run. There's not many healers. Also, this is not all of them, which is like really annoying actually to solve like this. You just have to know who has a heal, okay? You can just go for units. You can technically just click all of them until you find a heal card, right? But you kind of know who heals, okay? We kind of know everyone that has a heal card. It's not that many, right? It's not that hard to remember. SR Hendrickson has one if you want to run humans with him. But Shuna is one of the only unknown options that has a heal card. So it's kind of nice to have her. I wish Megelda actually, like, Megelda, I've seen people run Megelda. but her stuff doesn't work in this, obviously, right? But I've seen people run Meliodas for health, so you can run Meliodas, okay? Rimuru has a heal card, okay? If you really are down that bad, you can run this guy for a heal card, okay? And I think that's it for heal cards. Now another tech I've seen people do, it doesn't matter that much, is COUNTER.EXE though. Because COUNTER.EXE will cleanse your debuffs and give you buffs. And if you have Albedo, then they actually work pretty well together because he gives her a bunch of buffs. And he will do okay damage. But the thing is, people like saw what COUNTER.EXE did, and they thought it was his doing when Albedo was doing like 1.5 million damage on a counter. But that was the wild buffs. So he's the crazy one, okay? But if you want a stance card on your unknown team because you can't fit one on the other team for some reason, even though Sins have one that's really good, Demons have one that's really good. That's really the only teams you can run. So I don't know. I think you'd be fine, probably. But if so, honestly, Blue Rimuru can probably work. And again, for rank ups, green Gowther, red Gowther, you can run one on each side, one on each team. And that'd be pretty good. DPS wise, as long as you have unknown like buffers, like you have NANASHI, you have Freyr, everyone will do good damage anyway. Especially if you get the wild buffs, okay? The way you want to play is towards the rules. You do the rules, you get the wild buffs, you win. But these are pretty much all your unknown options, right? And then for Sins again, I mean Sins you can almost run the entire roster. King, like I said, is really strong for this. Yeah, no, you couldn't run that team. No, I was thinking of a silly team, don't worry. But you could run Chad King, you could just not run a healer on the Sins. That'd be fine, and you just have to run a healer on the other team, right? You don't have to have a healer on both, right? If one of the teams is missing one, it's okay on that one because you have such wide coverage anyway. But that's really it, right? The one would probably be really good just in general. He has double attack, which your Lost Vein might not have double attack because when he gets ranked up. Oh, actually no, sorry, he just has this now in general. I forgot. So you know, the one generally, I want people to think about the one a lot. But debuffs, attack cards, everything, you'll be fine. Again, it's just like having at least one stance or healer card. So you just have to look at who you have built up. I might do a video trying to use this guy and his stance because it's broken. Not really, but I might try and make a video of him. Just because it's funny. Fat King has a heal card that rejuvenates you as well. Actually, he's broken as hell. When I came back to JP like 4 years ago, and Fallenboss Merlin came up for the first time, this guy was the reason I could beat her. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, since you have so many options as well for all sorts, you can run that tab. Ragnarok, again, a bunch of options you can run. Hell obviously doesn't work. You could run Scotty. Scotty could work really well on this. Tyr works well on this. Freyr works well on this. Freyr works well on this. Miguel, like I said, has a heal card. You can use her. She is good for this. Humans, those collabs. No on races anymore. Fairies don't bother. I mean, again, Gahada has a heal card. Right, so you could run that. Humans, you have Zaneri you could run. Right, she has a heal card as well. I think she's somewhere near the bottom. But yeah, Zaneri has a heal card. There she is. You can run her if you want to. Honestly, you could try running Shin because he will rank up all your cards. But that's just if you feel like you need rank ups, which I don't think, once you do, you don't need to. This guy also increases your pierce rate by 50% technically. And then also gives you rejuvenate heal, which is very cool. But again, I mean, green humans, you'll have other ones that you want to run over him. You know, you have these two, which you probably will run if you run humans anyway. But yeah, that's really it for humans. I mean, you can Blue Roxy. Okay, I mean, the other good option in general, Blue Roxy is a good option. Kizuna is going to be a fantastic option because she ranks up and she has a buff card, so she does two things. Heal wise though, again, humans don't really have that many healers, so you like that actually do anything. So like Zaneri is probably your best like option, high key. If you have to run a heal in humans, right? Zaneri is probably your best option. Can't think of anyone else that has a good heal. Like, I mean, this guy, but like that's memeing, right? She actually has a kind of a decent heal, but I don't think she could survive like 2 hits from the Demon King. So I don't know if I'd run her. And then if we go to Giants, there's a bunch of good Giants. I don't think you can run a full Giants team. You could probably try, right? Matrona is good, right? You could run this green Matrona. You could run the red Matrona. Both of them have the same cards, so you could just run either of them. I like her, but her buff runs out after 2 turns, so she's probably going to be better in the long run. Scotty is going to be good for this, right? Joel is not going to be good for this whatsoever. So you still need one more. You could run Eden, I guess, if you really want to run a full Giants team. But I don't know why I'm even supporting a full Giants team. You're not going to run a full Giants team. The main teams you're going to be running is like unknown, humans, sins, demons, right? So, and then demons, you have a bunch of options. Again, you can run the team I was running that is like commandment focus with Green Meliodas giving you basic stats. I'm gonna do like a bunch of showcases on different like exact teams, right? But because everyone's box is different, I think just telling you teams is harder than just telling you use these options and try and make a team yourself, because there's so many options. And then that's it really. That's everything covered, I think. So yeah, links wise, by the way, Red Tarman is banned, but that's fine. That's fine. You can run him, but no, wait, hold on. The whole ban thing is just to use them, right? You can't. No, wait. I swear a timer doesn't work. Why do I have him? I swear it doesn't work. Oh, let's get hit on albino, because I swear it doesn't work. I swear it doesn't work. What do I have equipped? If it works, I mean, I use red timer. So what you can do if it works, because that's what I did as well. I use red timer on one team and I use blue timer on the other team as a link, right? And that works. You can't have the same links. I think that's actually the most restrictive thing they've ever done. Usually between like the link stuff, I didn't think they'd restrict it on this. I thought they're just gonna keep it the same. I don't remember if Crocodile lets you have different links, because on the Ignite team I never run links anyway. But hold on, let's see. I thought Red Timer doesn't work on this. He does. Okay, never mind. Okay, don't ignore what I said then. And what I said about Red Timer. Okay, so you can run Red Timer on one team and you can run Blue Timer on the other team. Okay, I just had to double check. Cause I swear I saw something about Red Timer not working. Anyway, Red Timer one team, and then Blue Timer on the other team. You want to run that, and then that's really it, right? Characters are really strong. Like this guy having access to commandments is really strong for like this red Zell, just because then he gives you the full bus. Obviously, the area commandment doesn't work, but all the commandments only work in PvP, I think. Right? I think. I can check. This guy works everywhere, I think, right? He does. Okay, so you could use Red Zelda's commandment if you want to. When you can't move cards for ults, I don't know. The commandment I wouldn't really worry about. Okay, I wouldn't really worry about anything here. There's no commandment where I'm like, oh yeah, like that's gonna be really useful. So yeah. Anyway, let me check this guy actually, because you can't. Yeah, no, there's really no reason to run any whatever. Right? It's actually better that you have this guy so you don't have a commandment. But yeah, this is a really strong team you can run. And for unknown, you have different options, right? You could just run Red Gotha instead of this, but you do need a healer. You need a healer on one of the teams. You don't need to. You could brute force it and just ignore that rule, or just hope you don't get the rule, right? It just costs stamina. Just like if you get the heal thing, you reset, and you just hope you get one run where on phase 1 you don't need a heal card, or you can kill him before you actually need to get a heal card anyway, and then that's fine. But I would recommend to at least have the chance to do all 3 rules, because the buff you get is pretty massive. But you don't have to stress. Again, when you see my like actual in-game guide of it, you'll see how much I will ignore the rules. I won't if I don't have to. But if it's like, oh, I only have 2 or 3, I'll be like, okay, I'll do it anyway. You can also watch my clears, because in my clears I do the same thing. Right? I do the same thing where I ignore the rules. But yeah, again, that's really it. Shuna is just so good, honestly, because Shuna, what she also does is she has this card, which on rank 2 is going to be a stun, which removes stances. So when Demon King puts up a stance that reduces damage taken by like 1,000,000%, you can just remove it instead of having to just wait it out. But again, it's not needed, so up to you. But yeah, I hope it was helpful. If the event comes out and you're struggling, right? You've built a team, you think this is tool, or like actually, if you're already prepared, tell me what you want to run in the event, and I'll just comment, like comment team A this, team B this, and then the difficulty, and I will help you. I'll tell you if you can run it or not. Anyway, that's it from me, boys. Good job.